Slide.
Hello.
Take a look.
Hi.
Hi. How are you? I'll be back. Is this Emma?
Yes, sorry, the video's on now. Hi, Megan. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, great. All right.
Uh-oh. I just lost the butterfly of my earring. Oh, there it is.
Oh dear.
Hi. How are you?
I'm exhausted. I just started practical today.
Oh, yeah?
Practical B. But I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. So how was your first day of practical?
It was practical B. Yeah, it was interesting. It was different than what I was expecting. I'm at a school that's a little bit more, they're a little bit like,
Sorry.
no worries. Yeah, they're a little bit like in the lower socioeconomic range, so it's different, but it's good.
What
Yeah.
age are the kids?
Grade 4, so 9 to 10.
Okay.
Very loud.
Very loud.
Yeah, my ears are a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And how many children?
27.
Okay.
It could have been worse.
Could have, but it still sounds exhausting.
Yes, because I work in the afternoons with kids too. So, yeah, but anyway.
Sure. And how long are you going to be at the practical?
I finish next week Friday, so it's only 2 weeks.
Oh,
Actually. And then we've got the October holiday, which I'm so looking forward to.
Will you be not doing your second job as well in the holidays?
Not really, no, because they're school children, so they also have a holiday, which means I get to catch up on sleep and assignments. Yay!
Sounds good. Yeah, I know that the short holidays never really end up being an actual holiday. They always just end up being catch up on studies time.
Yeah, too true.
Unfortunately.
Is it just the two of us?
There's no one else yet. I don't know if anyone else will arrive, but yeah.
I've actually been meaning to ask you, how many students are doing the biology course this semester?
6.
Okay, so,
5.
okay.
So it's
not just me and Cheryl.
No, but you're the only ones who've come to tutorials. It's you and Cheryl, and Anita, and Marius, and Stephanie. Do you know any of the others?
No, only Cheryl.
Okay. Yeah, they seem nice. They all participate nicely, and I mean, obviously, except for the tutorials. But yeah, Renita emails me often, talking about what she thinks about the sections and what she likes about it and stuff. And Marius was overseas at the beginning of the year, and so the start of the year was quite challenging for him, like moving back to South Africa as well as still keeping on with his studies. And then I think his laptop was stolen or lost or broken or something. So he had a difficult start, but then he's been enjoying it. And Stephanie is
Brazilian, I remember
Brazilian. Yeah, Mexican Brazilian.
I read the introduction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marius and I were in South Korea together. It's actually quite strange. We met in Korea. Yeah.
Yes, in Korea. Oh wow.
Actually, a friend of mine's friend, good friend. So that's how.
Okay. Huh. That's cool. Yeah. I keep on hoping that some of them will come to the tutorials because I'd really like to talk to them because I feel like I've got to know you pretty well. Like if I saw you in the street, I could have a nice conversation with you. But them, like I haven't ever really seen them, so yeah.
True. Very true.
Okay.
Yes.
How are you feeling about the module at the moment?
Digestion. It's good. Your videos make me laugh.
One of them, that one with the digestive demonstration.
What am I doing? Sorry, I keep kicking down the mouse whenever I'm in front of this laptop. Never mind. Okay, never mind. I got it. So what did you say?
Do all of the videos make you laugh, or was it just that one with the oat cake?
It was this. I'm thinking of the oat cake one now. I haven't actually watched all of the new ones for this week or last week. I just watched one last week. But yeah, it's just it's such a we had such a straightforward module on digestion in high school, so it was quite nice to go a little bit more in depth into it and to actually see the process of digestion. And although it's a little bit funny and full of oat cake, but yeah, it's good. And we've got the assignment due for Saturday. I looked at it.
How are you feeling about that?
Good. Actually, I have a question for you. I looked at the two websites and I checked out the two plates, but they actually look quite similar. So I was just wondering if I have the correct websites.
Yeah. So, let me quickly go online now. If you're following the links that I gave you, they are correct.
Okay.
The one was designed by the American, a department of the American government, and then a university said, actually, you guys it's wrong what you've designed, so we'll adjust it and design a new one in response. So that's why they seem so similar, because they're the one's an improvement on the other, or they said it's an improvement.
All right, so those two websites are correct, because I think the only difference is that okay, I get it.
So what you'll have to do, your assignment will be about, like, do you think the improvements were helpful, like the things that were different? Do you think that it was good that they were changed, or do you think that the original was fine, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. Busy getting them up here. Yeah, so they are really similar. The one, like, the one's got water.
Yes. I think one just recommends dairy and the other one doesn't, for example.
Stuff are slightly different.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, but hard.
Yeah. And yeah, I think Cheryl also had the same question, so I'll just be in contact with her.
Yeah, do that. So the whole point of your thing is to read up a bit about why the original, the American Department of Agriculture, why they designed it that way, and then why Harvard School of Public Health, why they thought that was wrong, and why they thought their way was better, and then to choose which one you think is better.
Yes.
Yeah. So you just need to do some research about, like, what they said about their ones.
Yeah. I actually remember that we we studied these plates, or a different version of these plates, in home economics. So weird.
Yeah.
They would recommend like 6 to 8 servings of bread and grain as your you need to take. It's like your most consumption.
Let
And
me
I
actually.
think,
I remember. Yeah, it's. What actually made me put this assignment in was if you can you go onto the internet. I mean, can you go onto Google quickly? So type in food pyramid, and then in the images that will come up, you'll see one that's a pyramid with a man climbing up a set of stairs, and it says My Pyramid, and the slices are vertical.
yeah.
So that's supposed to be a like the new version of the original food pyramid, which you probably would have done in home ec. The one like the first one. The other ones. They're like horizontal strips, and then they talk about how many servings of grains and how many servings of meat and all that stuff. That's talking about in a day, whereas I think the My Plate and the other one, the Healthy Eating Plate, are in a meal, I think. You just have to check that. But then also the one with the vertical strips, the My Pyramid, I think it's unhelpful because the size of the pyramids doesn't really tell you about the size of the servings, or always are telling you about the number of calories. It's a bit confusing. So the plates are a bit more clear because you can actually visualize. Like it's actually a visual description of what you're supposed to be doing, whereas the pyramid's less clear.
Yes.
But they're basically just different expressions of the same intention, even though there might be different descriptions of this, like how much food you should be eating of each kind. It's actually quite interesting to compare, like the different pyramids. The My Pyramid, the one with the vertical ones, they the original horizontal ones, they have sweets and sugar at the top as part of the pyramid, and the new pyramid doesn't have sweets and sugar at all, because they say it's actually sweets and sugar shouldn't be consumed at all, like it shouldn't be part of your normal diet. I remember when I was studying my nutrition studies in my undergrad degree, they said the reason they took sugar out of the pyramid is because they actually instead classified sugar as a drug. Like it should be consumed only in very small quantities, and it's addictive. So it was to address those kind of, like, people used to think this way, and now they're busy changing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it's great, because my mom is a friend and lives in Switzerland, in Zurich, and in the play school that she sent her son, it was like a good 5 or 6 years ago, they were actually banned from bringing like sugar in any form, and they were also banned from bringing fruit juice to school. Like they would get a warning, or they would get a warning basically. The parents packed in fruit juices with their children's lunch box. That had to be water, or like weak teas, like healthy teas and stuff like that, or like diluted fruit juice that is very weak, or something. I don't.
What about fresh fruit? Were they allowed to eat fresh fruit?
I think so. I think like a lot of, as far as I know, yes. I know they ate a lot of raw vegetables. They were encouraged to pack in a lot of raw vegetables, more so vegetables than fruit, because, I mean, fruit juice, the sugar content is higher than fruit, obviously, but fruit is also got quite a punch when it comes to sugar. So, it's healthy. I mean, you don't say that it's not healthy. Yeah, so I thought that was quite extreme, but that is Switzerland.
Yeah, and very interesting. Like, it would be really interesting. I wonder if there's studies online, like comparing, like behavioral issues in those classrooms compared to classrooms like in America, where the kids are allowed to eat as much sugar as they like. It'd be really interesting.
Very, very nice. It like reminds me of the Jamie Oliver program that he did. The schools in America versus the schools in Italy. And like, have you seen that YouTube or the program?
I've heard about it. I haven't watched much of it.
Oh, it's really interesting. I mean, like the contrast between the Western world classes and like the rural Italian school classes. All the Italian kids knew the names of the vegetables that would be presented to the class, and like the same age students in America wouldn't know the difference between broccoli and cauliflower or what did they say? Baby marrow, courgette, zucchini, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love food. So I'm really interested in food programs and like diet.
Yeah. Maybe there's a blog post by a family who cut out sugar for a year, but not only sugar itself, they also cut out all sugar replacements, all sugar substitutes. So, have you seen that as well?
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, so interesting how, like, what I was interested in was how their bodies adjusted to no longer accept sugar. Like after a period, the sugar tasted too sweet for them, and it gave them headaches, and it made them feel ill. And it made me wonder how much of our normal daily experience is in response to the unhealthy things we're eating, and we don't even ascribe it to that. We just think it's part of normal life.
Yeah, definitely. I was probably at my most healthiest when I lived in Korea. It's actually crazy. I like the food that you'd eat at the school. So you'd get your main meal of the day at the lunch cafeteria in the school. And the soups that they would make, for example, were nutritious broths that were made from the bones of like meat or whatever, and no additives whatsoever. And like you'd eat rice, and then you'd eat a lot of fermented food, like fermented soya bean paste or fermented cabbage. And I know it sounds a bit gross, but it was really healthy. There were no preservatives, no weird things. And I was so healthy that I could actually drop my allergy medication. And as soon as I came back to South Africa, I've been back on allergy medication. And if I don't take my allergy medication, I develop bronchitis because it's like it's a long story. I get a postnasal drip, and then But in Korea, I didn't get sick, so I was really stoked. Yeah, it just shows you what a good diet can do. You can actually reprogram your body. I would like to reprogram my body now that I'm having this conversation with you.
Yeah, it's inspiring me as well. Because I went to Spur with some friends last night after church, and I ate a burger because there were burgers at church, but they ran out, so I just ate at Spur. And after eating, I didn't feel good, and I was like, wow, it's just because I cook a lot, and so often I end up thinking, what was the point in buying a meal at a restaurant, because I could have just cooked it at home and it might have even tasted better. But then last night's meal, it really made me think, not only would it have been cheaper, and not only would it have been maybe tasted better if I'd eaten something that I'd made, but actually probably there's stuff like preservatives and all sorts of oils and stuff in the burger that I ate that's making me feel not nice in the body, unhealthy, and like, and just like unsettled and not at peace, kind of like in my body. And if I'd eaten more clean food, it probably would have been better.
Yeah, you know, it's really funny. I'm actually after this, I was going to go on my way to Sir and get a burger for dinner because my mom works for Spur.
And also it's Monday nights, and it's 2 for the price of 1. So
Yeah, and my mom works there, so I can get it for free. But now I'm really thinking because it's so
wondering.
convenient. Just go and get takeout, but it's a lot healthier to actually make it, and you feel better afterwards. I never feel great after eating pizza burger.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's what makes me like want to not eat takeaways, is because I don't feel good.
Yeah, for sure.
But they
Why
do
do we?
does taste good.
That tastes good. In the moment.
But good food tastes better.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely true. Sure.
But you
And
know,
have you ever seen, if you bought takeout and you leave it for like a day, have you ever seen what the food looks like a day after? It's horrible. And homemade food just doesn't look like that. So,
I read an article once about marketing of, it was about marketing, and it was speaking about McDonald's in particular, and they were basically trying to answer the question, why do we still order McDonald's when we all know we feel awful afterwards? Like, why do we do it? And they were saying McDonald's in particular has exploited our natural responses to a visual stimulus, where they've linked so strongly all the positive things that they tell us about their food and about like all the nice things we think about the food. They've associated it for us with the yellow M and all their branding, so that when we see the M or when we think about McDonald's, we immediately think of all the good things, and how quick it's going to be and how good it's going to taste, and so that convinces us to buy in the moment, and then afterward, like we don't in the moment, because that's how we think short term. We don't think about the long term. Well, 5 minutes later, how we're going to feel. Because we just think short term, and they've linked positive things with so basically they simulate a craving in us.
Like brainwashing, basically.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. Sorry?
I was just going to say, we fuel it because we believe them, and so we buy it. And then next time when we're thinking about buying it, we remember the initial feeling and the anticipation and the first bite, and we forget how we felt afterwards. So we keep on fueling the brainwashing, actually.
Yeah. It's very scary. I think the last time I ate McDonald's, it was a very long time ago. I'm not a big fan of Lay's. After I watched the documentary, there was this study that was done on their food, and it like showed the decomposition of a standard Big Mac meal and like a portion of chips. And I can't remember the exact time frame, but the food just didn't decompose. It turned a funny color, but it didn't decompose, especially the chips.
So gross.
So, yeah, no, it was. So just thinking of that, in your body, what is it? Because it sounds alien. Food should decompose. So after watching that, I wasn't so keen on McDonald's anymore.
Understand.
And Jamie Oliver also helped me, because he actually, when one of the Jamie Oliver, in that specific, he takes America or whatever, I think he went to Virginia in the USA, and apparently the town, what is it? Huntsville, Virginia, is like the most obese town in the world or something. And he showed them, like he gave them lessons on food health and nutrition, and he showed them how they would make chicken nuggets. And it was really gross because they use all the bad parts of the chicken sludge and oh no, it's gross. There's a video on it, go watch it, but so I've been put off of chicken nuggets and McDonald's for a long time now.
Mm. Yeah. It's crazy that we still carry on, that so many people carry on eating it. Maybe it's partly because they don't think about that stuff.
No,
It's
sure.
cool. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, it's much healthier to eat food that you know where it came from. Even just, I mean, we don't know where the ingredients came from, but just the actual food.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, one more thing, the plate that we are doing, that's obviously like a representation of a Western world plate, right? And it doesn't, or is that for like everyone? Because if I look at it, I guess the same can be said for Korea. That they ate does soya count for dairy or for protein?
I think it's protein. But you'd have to look into that to make sure. Yeah, that would be a really interesting thing to look into. I don't know the answer, whether that plate is biased towards a Western way of eating or whether it would also suit a different way of eating. I don't know. I think they would. It might be interesting if you are curious about it to look into it and put it into your assignment.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, part of your assignment is to make a recommendation of which one you would suggest teach a classroom of kids to to adopt. And you might want to say, like, if you find that it depends on the culture of the kids, you might want to put that in there. I'm pretty sure that dietitians would say that it's like culture neutral, that it's just a healthy way of eating and everyone should eat that way. But it would be interesting if I don't know if that's actually true.
Yeah, because I think that, like for instance, in China and Japan, I know Japan and definitely Korea, they add a lot of fermented foods to their diet. Like it's part of every single meal, morning, afternoon, and night, especially Korea. And
Wow.
it has a high dose of, like, for example, the Koreans have this dish called kimchi, which is cabbage that has been fermented with red chili paste. And it's got like a high content of called lactobacilli or something. It's like the probiotic that you would take. So basically, it's like good bacteria that you put into your body. And I think it also like, I don't know if this is right, like it activates more enzymes. Your body will have a higher enzyme action, metabolic something. Obviously, the digestion happens quicker, but it also the absorption of the good nutrients happens more. So, yeah, I mean, not every country has this, but it really worked in Korea. Like I can testify. Testify with my fermented cabbage.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting. Like, you can totally, if you're curious about that, you can totally put that into your assignment. Like, maybe you would suggest the same food plate, but with an extra section for fermented food. Or, like, would you say that the fermented food counts as one of the other divisions? Like, would you say that the fermented food counts as some of the vegetables, or would you add it in addition? Like, that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
From what the culture.
I started reading up on it a bit, and it wasn't just like the Asian countries that did that. I know I read up on Eastern European, and they have something called kefir. Have you heard of that? It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a grain that you put in milk, and then it cultures the milk, and it's also got a high enzyme thing going on. And they would eat that in meals and be healthy. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. If you find out more about that, I'd like you to put it into your essay so that I can hear about it too. This will be really interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm glad that when they were making the plates, they didn't, like it's vegetarian friendly. So it's not, like for cultures that eat less meat, it can still apply, which is good.
Yeah.
But like it's also interesting to think the African countries where protein is a small part, like meat or whatever, is a very small part of the diet. Would they still be getting protein in other ways, or would their protein portion be much smaller? Yeah, and their grains portion bigger. I don't know. Interesting.
I know some African countries they are big on leafy greens and spinach, and that's a source of iron.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What is it? There was this weird dish that, you know, like the pap, the mini meal pap. They mixed it with spinach and peanut butter. I think it's in Malawi or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's protein.
You like it?
I've never tried it. I saw a recipe for it, or I read a blog about someone doing a mission trip in Malawi, or Foods of Malawi or something. I don't know. But yeah, interesting.
Interesting. Okay, can I bring a different topic in?
Yeah.
So we're starting the new unit on creation and evolution. Have you looked at any of? Did you see the email I sent today about it?
I did read your email. I haven't looked at any of the content yet, sorry, but I'm planning to have it tonight or tomorrow.
So I mentioned in the email that the one video is me telling my story of what I was taught as a child about creation and evolution, and then what I thought when I became an adult, and then how the process of me preparing for this unit, how my thinking changed. So hopefully you'll find it interesting to read. But I wondered if you would mind sharing for your own story, just with me quickly. Just basically, if you wouldn't mind telling me, do you remember your parents teaching you anything about the creation of the world, and what did they teach you? And then did that change as you got older, and where are you at now? And keeping in mind, as you see, it may well change in the future. So I'm not going to hold you forever to what you say now.
Sure. This should be an interesting conversation. Our pastor's right here.
You might speak.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I remember my grandparents. I grew up with my grandparents, so they took me to a Presbyterian church, and I remember having the traditional, the biblical perspective of creation, which is that God created the world in 7 days. I think if I have to, I actually think now that I think back on it, my primary school, my teachers in grade 1 and grade 2 and grade 3 and grade 4, they were probably the people who influenced me the most with that information. I mean, they taught me about the creation of the world. More than my grandparents and my parents and the church, actually.
Interesting.
It was 5 days a week, and in those days we still had Bible study. And so that was my early on experience with creation. I fully believed that God created the world in 7 days, or 6 days, and then He rested on the 7th day. As the Bible story laid out. But then when I became older, when I was 11 or 12, I lost my faith because, well, for many reasons, but mostly my dad is not religious at all. And I think he found it quite hard to you know, I was religious and he wasn't. So I got influenced by what he thought. And yeah, I'm not actually sure. A lot of things changed in my teenage years with regards to things that I just accepted when I was a child, especially with creationism. So I kind of moved more towards a new ageist way of thinking about it, or not a set in stone way of thinking about it. When I was a teenager, I thought, oh, maybe the 7 days mean like, you know, the 6 days might mean 6,000 years. You know, our concepts of time and space are different to God. Now, I haven't actually thought about the creation in a while. I mean, I think about it, but I haven't thought about, you know, like, because when you hear the word creation, you automatically think that the time frame. Because if you're a Christian, even if you're not a Christian, because it's such a debated topic amongst non-Christians, like the time frame. Earth was created in 6 days, and you know, whatever. I don't actually know where I'm at right now. I believe the Bible. I believe 6 days and rest on the 7th day. But as for, yeah, I don't know. It's a very loaded topic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because I have like really good friends who are very how would you say? Like they only believe in evolution. They describe the whole faith part of it, and that's fine. And it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me why they would only believe in evolution, because if you kind of look at our you know, the heritage lines of history, it makes sense. But then if you've got faith, it kind of brings another dimension into it. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, a loaded topic, Megan. Whew.
It is. You'll understand when you watch my video. You'll understand how I feel about it. But I can tell you now, so you get a pre-warning. My purpose with this topic was not to convince you of any one perspective, and I don't even know what I think. So like I can't have a perspective that I was trying to convince you of. So my purpose is just to give you lots and lots of resources to help you as you think. So it'll be really interesting, I think, for you, especially because you haven't chosen a stand. This will give you an opportunity to, like, a chance to spend some time thinking about it. And obviously, you don't have to choose a stand by the end, but that's certainly what I found valuable, was to be forced, when I was preparing for this unit, to be forced to think about this, and to equip myself with knowledge on the topic. Yeah, so it'll be now. Excuse me?
I said I'm going to go and watch the video now because I'm curious.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that we were going to start this unit, I was actually thinking about it, and I actually had like a conversation with myself, and I was like, what do you believe? Because I used to think that, you know, the time frame in the Bible might have been a bit like open to interpretation. Like maybe 6 days is really 6,000 years. What about dinosaurs and stuff? But then I remember, like I said to myself, it must, you know, like my faith kind of compels me to say, it must be as, you know, God has written it. But it doesn't mean I understand it. So I might believe, you know, I believe what I believe, but I don't necessarily understand it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go and watch your video now. It seems interesting.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for you and for the rest of the students that this unit will, like I said, give you the opportunity to think about the topic, and also give you the equipment to be able to discuss it intelligently with other people. Not necessarily to win in an argument, but more just to understand where people are coming from and to have something to say about the different perspectives. because yeah, I mean, you'll see in the video, but I think it's unhelpful when people discount other people's point of view because they obviously haven't thought. You know, like, you can't think that way because it's a stupid thing to think, or you can't think that way because only Christians have to think this way, or, you know, like, that's not helpful. Much more helpful to understand the perspectives, even just a little bit. So yeah, so I hope you'll enjoy it. And I said in the email, but you don't have to memorize everything in all the readings, and you should read until you feel like you're able to do objectives. Yeah, so that's it. But just yeah, watch the videos and they'll give you direction as you go. But I'm excited. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good unit.
Cool.
Do you have any questions about it?
No, I'm looking forward to it now. It's actually a very, yeah, it's something that I wouldn't even know how to start a conversation with. So somebody even shares the same conviction or belief that I do. So it's a good thing to tackle this because it's, normally one of the biggest arguments against the Bible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. I'm glad. Okay. Do you have any other questions, or else we're finished?
No questions. I'm gonna go and get a spur burger now.
Enjoy it. I hope you don't feel like I felt afterwards.
Me too. All right.
Okay, cool. Keep well, Emma. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.